I like to consider myself a world traveler, although I still have a lot of places to go, but I have been down to Australia. I've been to Sydney and actually befriended a band called Youth Group while I was down there.
Oh, Youth Group.
Yeah, I know. They're essentially not around. I think the lead singer Toby's doing a solo project, and the drummer is playing with the drums now, actually.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
Which is great. He did We Are Scientists for a while, and now is playing with the drums.
That's right, yeah.
It gave me even more of an affinity to that city. As I was saying, it's a sister city of San Diego in a lot of ways, and it felt very similar. But can you talk about Sydney and the importance of it to the band, whether it's things like Triple J, the music culture, or anything else down there?
Our first gig ever was the University Band Comp at Sydney, and then 3 weeks later we came second, which we thought was a surprise. We were surprised by that result, admittedly, because we'd only practiced for 3 weeks before.
And we'd written 3 songs in 3 weeks
or
or
something
Yeah.
stupid like that. And and then after that result, I guess it was just enough of a kick in the butt to say, oh, maybe we should keep doing
going.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
And 5 years later.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, we used to rehearse in Newtown, which is sort of the uni town there. And we used to just sit on our roof and have cigarettes and beers and drink beer and have a bit of a play, and that was like a really nice vibe for us, and I think that was really important.
Until the eviction letter came.
Yeah, and then we almost got evicted, yeah.
But other than that, it was great. Did you guys team up with or get to meet other bands, Australian bands specifically, I guess, as you were coming up, and you kind of befriended and worked with as you were coming up?
Yeah, I mean, one of the first tours we did was a rural tour with an Australian singer-songwriter called Josh Pike, and he's really well known over there too. I don't know the extent to which he's known overseas, but yeah. So we're all a little bit starstruck when we got on that tour with him, and it's great. Now sometimes in Newtown we just saw him. Last time we were in Sydney, just sitting down at a cafe, and we were able to go up and say hi as if we're doing the same thing or in the same business or whatever. So it's always nice when you get to you get at one stage you get accepted by your peer group to an extent, and then at a later stage you get to have a coffee with them.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I noticed you guys, first let me say congratulations. I noticed you won the Australian Music Prize. Can you talk a bit about that, and then tell me what kind of huge party are you going to throw with your 30 grand?
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, when we first discovered we were shortlisted, we looked at the caliber of all the albums, the 9 albums in total, and we thought, just to look at the cover of our album next to all the other albums that were there, we just thought, well, my God, that's pretty cool. I mean, understatement of the century, but we were blown away by that. And then for us to turn around and win it, we just thought, well, that's almost just a bit too surreal.
There are a few really big albums coming out of Australia that year as well, so we didn't actually think we would win
at all. And we, as humbly as we could, we accepted it and kept. I don't know. It's weird. We're a little bit of a funny band. I think we're much more comfortable keeping our heads down and just playing shows than. Not that you need to get caught up in accolades or awards or prizes or anything like that, but it's in a way I feel like we almost shy away from it a tiny bit. We just would much rather write songs and play our shows and just do what it is we do, which is and everything else it comes as a bonus. But I mean, having said that, we're very appreciative, obviously.
And can you talk about it a little bit? I'm always curious when I talk to bands either from the UK or Australia or other places where they have, whether it's really good music education programs that people go into, or prizes that help bands along, or like Canada where they actually have funding for bands and things like
the
that.
Canadian government's pretty incredible with some of the stuff it does.
Yeah, and it's a foreign concept in the States, so
Yeah.
we don't understand it. So what is the basis of that prize?
What do they say? It's based on excellence or something, and it's an alternative. What's the equivalent here to the ARIAs?
Oh, the Grammys.
The Grammys.
Yeah. And I mean, there's government grants for bands, Australian bands, to get out to South by Southwest, for example. So I mean, to an extent, they're very supportive of music and the culture and the arts. But in the same breath, it's the sporting culture in Australia is almost deafening compared to the arts and music culture. So it's even down to airline policies on excess baggage for your equipment. You can take as many sets of golf clubs as you need to, but as soon as you have a keyboard, you're looking at 200
Yeah,
bucks
exactly.
an item or something stupid like that. So I mean, you notice it, but at the same time, if you're clever and you don't squander your money on tour buses or fancy things that too early, then you can make your own business out of it, and you can figure out how to get to where you need to go to play shows. Yeah.
Two quick questions, and then we'll get you guys out of here. One is the Endless Summer video. The one I watched... Wait. Already a reaction. The one I watched was titled Uncensored. And I had this expectation. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What did they censor if they had to censor this? Because it didn't seem like anything was that drastic.
No, it was for some overseas markets. There was literally because she shot the gun, and literally I don't think you could see the smoke rising from the gun or after it had been fired.
Obviously, that's not a problem in the
way.
States at all.
No, if you don't see the smoke, then you have to mark it as something's wrong with your video.
And the NRA's on you, and it's a big problem after that.
Yeah.
No, So it was very, very mildly censored. There wasn't anything, as you saw
just
in
a
the
bit
uncensored
violent, I think. Yeah.
version. Yeah.
A bit. Again, America, we're pretty desensitized
Exactly.
to that stuff.
Yeah.
So, last question for you. Olympics are going on. Are you guys fans at all of the Olympics?
I love watching the gymnastics.
Oh,
yeah. I'm not ashamed to say it.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, at first you're like, you're grumbling. You're like, it's so freaking corporate this time around, and it's the McDonald's is the official restaurant of the Olympics, and how the fuck?
Here's the medal
How does that
brought
work?
to you by
Seriously?
McDonald's.
Yeah, like we're celebrating athletes and what they're able to do with their body, and McDonald's somehow jumps on board as a corporate sponsor. Seems ridiculous to me, but having said that, as soon as it started, I turned it on the television. I went, oh, this is sort of cool.
It is
It's
amazing.
Like,
it's so inspiring to see, like, just the gymnastics. They're so beautiful.
what
and
people can do with their
graceful,
bodies
and,
is just
incredible.
I can't do anything with my body half as impressive. I mean, really, I can eat a cheese Danish in 20 seconds or less.
Well, then you may have already answered my last question for you. Then is if you could, what would your Olympic sport be, real or imagined, if you could participate?
All right, crying.
Crying? Oh my god.
You get the gold in crying. Boy, that's something to make your parents proud.
I just would love to see it on the television, to be honest.
Crying and masturbating
Yeah,
at the
crying,
same time.
masturbating. That'd be amazing. Oh, crying and at the same
At the
time.
same time.
Or you could get like a living in your mom's basement triathlon going with like crying, masturbating, and this like stale hot dog eating or something like that. This has gotten out of hand. I'm sorry about
I
that.
think you guys have won for the best answer to that question. So congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So you say you're a prisoner.